What's going on, guys? John Elder here from codemy.com, and in this video, we're going to look at templates, navbars, and links for Flask and Python. All right, guys, like I said, in this video, we're going to look at templates, navbars, and links. But before we get started, if you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out codemy.com, where I have dozens of courses with hundreds of videos that teach you to code. Use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. It's all my courses, videos, and books for one-time fee at just $49, which is insanely cheap. All right, it is Flask Friday, once again, the best time of the week. And in this video, we're going to look at setting up templates. We're going to set up a navbar, and we're going to look at links. Now, Flask makes all of this incredibly easy, and it's very similar to Django. So if you've done this sort of thing with Django, you're going to have no problem whatsoever doing this with Flask. It's almost completely identical. So with any sort of website, you're going to want to break your website apart into sections. Think about all the websites you've ever seen. They all have the same sort of navbar on each page of the site, right? They all have the same sort of footer section on every page of the site for the most part, right? So it sort of makes sense for us to break apart the parts of a page that are going to be the same on every single page and put those in their own little file. That way we only have to do it once. And if we want to make changes to any of those things, for instance, if we want to add another link up here to our navbar in the future, we can change it in one file, and then that will show up on every single page of our website. We don't have to go change it on every single page. All of those pages will pull from that one file. And the same with the footer. And Flask makes this very easy using templates and extensions. Extend base, we're going to make a base file. And so that's what we're going to look at. We're also going to look at setting up the Bootstrap CSS framework. You can see our site looks a lot better now. We've got a navbar, we've got some colors, it sort of hovers and things change. We can click on this. We're also going to look at links. And this is sort of a dynamic link. So user John, I'll show you how to pass those types of things into links in this video. So lots of stuff to do in this video. Let's jump right in. It's Flask Friday, right? So let's check out our code. And the first thing I want to do is create a file called base.html in our templates directory. So let's come up here to our templates directory, right click and click new file. And then I'm just going to right away save this as base.html. Now, this is the file that's going to be our main template for the rest of the website. All the pages of our website are going to pull stuff off of this page. So what we need to do here is set up a couple of tags here, and we need to create a block. So let's go block, and let's call this content. And then anytime we open a tag like this, we need to close it. So we just type end block. So inside of these two tags, every page that uses this base.html file, for instance, our index page, all of this stuff will sort of get pulled out by Flask, and sort of on the fly, it will get sort of like pasted in right there. Now, it's not actually pasting this stuff in. It's all doing it behind the scenes whenever one of these pages is called. So the stuff above this tag and below this tag, so we can type above, and let me put some line breaks. And then let me just copy these line breaks, and we can go below. Now, whatever we put here and here will appear above and below the content, this block content of our page. So we go ahead and save this. Now we also need to take these and add them to each individual page. So right up here at the top, I'm just going to paste these in. So we have our block content. The end block goes at the end. And I'm just going to kind of tab all this stuff over just so it's sort of understood where all this stuff is going. So, okay, we also need one more tag up here. We need to say, hey, use that base file in with this file. And to do that, we use the extends tag. So we just go extends and then base.html in quotation marks. So I'm going to copy this, and we need to put this on every single page of our website. Now we've only got a few pages here, so this shouldn't take very long. Let me just put this, and then for our 500 page and also our 400 page, we also need the end block tag. So we can come down here and copy this and put that on every page at the bottom. And we don't have to tab this stuff in, but I'm going to just because it makes sense. And again, the end block here, and let's tab, save, and finally the end block here. And again, let's tab that over, save this. Okay, so that looks good. Now if we come back to our website, make sure our server is running, so Flask run. Notice we're in our C Flasker directory. We've got our virtual environment turned on. We've got main, so that means our Git is initialized. Okay, so our server's running. Head back over here. So we hit reload. we get above and below. And there's something going on here, probably from a prior video. Yeah. So we can maybe take that out. All right, let's save this and now hit reload. Okay, so we've got now above and below. So if we go to, for instance, user/John, we get above and below on that one as well. If we go to a page that doesn't exist, we get our 404 error, but we also get above and below. So now if we want to change something on above or below, like I said, we could just change it in one place. We could say this is above, right? If we wanted to make that change, I don't know why we would, but we made a change one time and we click here, boom, this is above. We go back to this page, hit reload, it's there. We go back to the main page, hit reload, it's there. And so that's really cool. So we can make a change on one page and it reflects on every single page. So very, very cool and very easy. And that's all there is to it. So now let's add the Bootstrap CSS framework. If you're not familiar with this, go to getbootstrap.com. This is a completely free CSS framework. It's the most popular CSS framework in the world. It allows us to create all kinds of cool visual things on our website just by copying and pasting code. So I went over here and I clicked on docs, documentation, and then just scroll down here to starter template. And let's copy this. So let's bring this over and put this in our base.html file so we can get rid of this above and below stuff. We don't really actually want that. And instead, let's paste in that base.html file. So we're also going to need to move our block content tag. So let me copy this. And let's come up here to the top and look for the H1 stuff. That's where we want our content to go. So I can paste in those content blocks right there. Or we don't actually need a space there. So, okay, that will work. Now I'm also going to put a line break to push this down a little bit. And I always put a div here. So let's go div class equals container. And then close our div. There we go. And let's tab this in a bit. Okay. So this container just takes everything and moves it over a little bit so it's not right on the edge of the screen. That's just a Bootstrap thing. And okay, we should be good to go. So now this Bootstrap theme should work on every page of our site because we've added it to our base.html file. So let's go ahead and save this, head back over to our website and hit reload. Now notice the font, right? Sort of look at the size and the color. When we hit reload, boom, everything sort of changes a little bit. The font is skinnier, everything looks a little bit sleeker, it's moved over. That means Bootstrap has been installed correctly. Now we're not actually installing Bootstrap this way, you could, but we're just using this template file and it will call the CSS CDN, Content Delivery Network, for Bootstrap. And it'll also add the JavaScript stuff down here at the bottom. So I find that that works just as well as installing Bootstrap in your app. So that's what we're going to do. So, okay, coming right along, we've got our templates set up. We've got Bootstrap set up. Let's create a Navbar now. So head back over to getbootstrap.com, come down here to components, and let's look for Navbar. And we scroll down here and we see here's a Navbar, and that looks good. So let's go ahead and copy it. So to use stuff in Bootstrap, you almost always just copy the code, paste it into your code, modify it a little bit to suit your needs, and then you're good to go. That's why Bootstrap is so cool, because it's just this easy. So let's head back over to our code. And instead of putting this, we could put this in our base.html file. We could just put it right here, right? Because this is where the navbar goes. Instead, I want to break this even further into another file. So let's come up to templates, create new file, and let's go file, save as, and let's just call this navbar.html because there's a lot of code here. Let's just paste in all of our navbar code. And okay, now the one thing I always do is I change it from light up here to dark because I like a dark navbar instead of that light gray. So we can do that. Let's go ahead and save this. Now we need to sort of pull this in to our base.html file. Now we could use a block tag like this, or we could also use the include tag. So let's go include navbar.html. And you just put this wherever you want this navbar to go. So we want to put it first thing right under our body tag of our HTML. This is right where the web page itself starts. Everything above here is just header stuff like this title. So let's type in Flasker, whatever for our title. Okay, so that should work. So let's go ahead and save this, head back over here, and let's hit reload, and boom, we've got a navbar. Awesome. If we go to another page and hit reload, we've got a nav bar there. If we go to another page, our error page, and hit reload, boom, we've got the nav bar there. Very, very cool. So let's go ahead and modify this nav bar a bit. Maybe we'll keep this search bar for now. We might use that. Let's get rid of this disabled link. Let me go back to the home page here. And we can do that by just looking through our navbar code, and towards the bottom, just look for disabled, and there it is. And then just go up to the LI tag. This is the list element, so we can, or list item, I suppose. So we can sort of click on it, and the closing LI tag highlights. So I know to get rid of all of that. So if we save this, come back over here, hit reload, boom, now that's gone. And we got this drop down. Now we don't really need that for now. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Same thing, look around for drop down. There it is right there. Come up to the LI tag, hit it. You can see it highlights. Look for the closing LI tag. There it is. So let's just get rid of all of this. Save this, reload, make sure that looks okay. Okay. And I want to get rid of this home link as well. We'll keep this one. I like this sort of darker muted link instead of this bright link. So let's get rid of this home link. So again, look around for home. There it is. There's our LI tag. There's our closing LI tag. And we can get rid of that. Save this. Reload. Okay, so now navbar, let's change that. And let's just change this to, say, Flasker for now. Save this, reload. Okay, so coming right along now, let's knock out this link here. So, and let's actually add a link to this Flasker thing right here too that goes back to the home page. So let's do that one first. So to use links in Flask, we use something called the URL for tag. So here's our HTML link, right? There's opening a tag, closing a tag. And the href is where the link itself is pointing. And so right now it says hashtag. If we want to point this to somewhere else, we use our double brackets and then the URL for tag. So just note, we're not doing that kind of tag. This is double brackets. So it's sort of like a variable, right? So to use this, we go URL_for, and this is a function. And inside of here, we can pass whatever we want. So we want this to go to our home page, our index page. So we reference the index route, the index function of our hello.py file. So if we come back to our hello.py file, we see we've got these functions, index, we've got user, we've got page not found, though I don't know why you would want to point a link to page not found, but it's these function names here that we're referencing in the URL for tag. So, okay, let's go ahead and make sure this is saved. We've got our index right there. Let's come back over here and hit reload. And when we do, when I hover, you can see down in the bottom left-hand corner down here, it says 5,000. So if we go to another page, for instance, this one, and then click reload and now click here, boom, it goes back to our home page, and that looks good. So, okay, now let's change this link to point to our user profile. So user/John, for instance, right? So this is dynamic. Anytime we change this to something else, it creates another page and it says hello Bob there. So we want to point to, let's just say John. So let's say we were pretending to make this a user profile page. So user/John. How can we put this link here? Well, this is different because we're passing information here. For instance, John, right? So how do we pass that into the link? Well, it's actually pretty easy. Let's head back over here. Let's find that link. There it is. And I'm going to call this user profile. And for our link, we use our double brackets. And it's the same thing, URL_for, and it's a function. Now, looking at our hello.py file, we want this to go to user, but remember, user is looking for a name. So we can reference that in the link. So let's head back over here, and we want to point this to user, but then we also want this, we need to put the name equal to something. So we want this to point to John. So if we save this, head back over here, hit reload, go back to a home page, user profile, you can see down at the bottom, it's pointing to user/John. If we click on here, it goes to user/John. So we can navigate back and forth, and that's looking good. One thing I will point out, this is a little bit weird, it's a little tricky. I'm using single quotes here. That's because this A tag here is using double quotes right here. So if I wanted to use single quotes, you can see it's throwing all kinds of errors because it thinks that this is the closing quote to this because they're both double quotes. So if they're using double quotes here, that means inside of here, we need to use single quotes. Or we could change it around. We could use single quotes here, right? And then we'd have to use double quotes right here, right? That's just sort of how that works. So let's save this, make sure that I didn't mess anything up there. Okay, seems to work just fine. So very, very quickly, and we can see John there. Let's change that to uppercase. So let's go to user and instead of lower, let's go, I don't know, title. Okay, that looks better. And very cool. So this search bar doesn't do anything yet. We might mess with that later. We've got a working Navbar that we can change on the fly, and it will be reflected on every single page of our website. We've only got a couple of pages of our website right now, but hey, we are coming right along, and just that easy. So remember templates, we have to just extend out the base in every file we want to use it. We just use this extends base file, and then just wrap your content in this block content tag, and that's all there is to it. Then on your base.html file, put whatever you want in your base template, and then just wherever you want the content to be output, put the block content tag, and that's where it will go. So that's all for this Flask Friday video. If you liked it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out codemy.com where you can use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. So you pay just $49 to access all my courses, over 47 courses, hundreds of videos, and the PDFs of all my best-selling coding books. Join over 100,000 students learning to code just like you. My name is John Elder from codemy.com, and I'll see you in the next video.